basketball has really consumed my life for a year. So I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
There's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place.
Caitlin Clark has confirmed that she is stepping away from basketball until April. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas has spoken about the slurs she received from Caitlin Clark fans. Ryan Ruocco confirmed Caitlin will not play off-season basketball. That means 200+ days before we see Caitlin Clark back on court.
Allow me to publicly thank the Indiana Fever for putting up such a great fight tonight and for battling back again and again and again all season long. Let me thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again, and playing at a much higher level than they should be at this stage and age. Was I ever entertained?
Caitlin Clark was also taken to the ground during her final game. No surprise there. And once again, no foul was called. Can someone explain how that wasn't considered a foul? Wait, I already know. Maybe it's because it happened to Caitlin Clark.
Things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and two, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again. So
Alyssa Thomas was clearly unhappy after the game, even though she played a role in her team's success. She was frustrated with the way fans treated her throughout the game, specifically calling out Fever fans. Yet, when Angel Reese tackled her some time ago, she had nothing to say. But when it's Caitlin, suddenly it's a different story.
We don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And, we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
Is Caitlin Clark's decision to rest after her breakout WNBA season a major turning point in her career? And what could it mean for the future of women's basketball? As Caitlin Clark steps away from the court for the next 200+ days, fans and analysts are wondering how her absence could affect not only the Indiana Fever, but also the WNBA as a whole. Caitlin's decision to prioritize rest instead of playing overseas or 3v3 basketball signals a change in her approach to her career. But what could this mean for the WNBA's future viewership and the overall impact on women's sports? Caitlin has given herself a well-deserved break. A decision that surprised some, but remains understandable considering her demanding workload this season. Caitlin Clark played almost an entire NBA season. Caitlin Clark appeared in 81 games across 324 days and spent 2,850 minutes on the court during that period.
Now has 761 points, breaking the record once held by Simone Augustus. However, there is a caveat. Augustus set the mark back in 2006 when the WNBA regular season was just 34 games. Clark broke the record in 39.
Let's begin by looking at Caitlin's final game. It wasn't simply another regular season matchup. This was a playoff game, a moment when everything was on the line and the pressure was at its highest. Facing a strong Connecticut Sun team, the odds were stacked against the Fever. However, Caitlin showed up as usual, delivering a performance that demonstrated why she has become such a talked-about player. In that game, Caitlin scored an impressive 25 points and delivered 9 assists. But for those watching closely, it was obvious that she could have finished with even more assists. Time after time, she created chances for her teammates with perfect passes, only to watch them miss easy layups. This wasn't simply bad luck. Caitlin's playmaking ability was clearly on display. She was creating opportunities, finding teammates in the right positions, and making the game easier for everyone around her. Unfortunately, the shots simply weren't falling at all that night. The pressure in that game wasn't only on Caitlin's shoulders. The Fever, a team that had struggled during parts of the season, was facing a balanced and playoff-experienced Connecticut Sun squad. However, Caitlin wasn't willing to back down from the challenge from the opening tip. She attacked the basket, took her shots confidently, and made sure she gave her team the best possible chance to win that game.
I would grade myself. I'm a tough grader. I feel like I had a solid year, but for me, the fun part is I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm one that's nitpicking every single thing I do. And I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates. And I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better. And before we know it, I'm sure we'll all be back here.
Caitlin's final game may have ended in disappointment, but her season overall was nothing short of phenomenal. This was the year Caitlin Clark established herself as one of the most exciting and talented players in the WNBA. From her scoring ability to her talent for creating opportunities, Caitlin was the heart of the Indiana Fever, and it's important to recognize just how impressive her season was, especially considering the high level of competition across the WNBA. Every team in the league knew Caitlin was the player they had to stop. Defenses were built specifically to slow her down, while opposing coaches constantly made adjustments to reduce her impact. Yet Caitlin repeatedly found ways to perform at an elite level night after night, even against the toughest defenses.
A lot of players, a lot of these wonderful ladies who bust their tail to make the WNBA what it was. Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
Caitlin's ability to score from deep range is perhaps one of her biggest strengths. She has an incredible ability to knock down three-pointers from well beyond the arc, and she does it with impressive efficiency. This forces defenders to stay close, opening driving lanes that she can attack with her speed and ball handling skills. But Caitlin isn't only a scorer, she's also one of the league's top playmakers, consistently delivering assists and getting her teammates involved in the offense. In fact, her playmaking is one of the biggest reasons she separates herself from other elite scorers. While many players focus mainly on putting points on the board, Caitlin has a special ability to read the floor and make the right pass at exactly the right moment. Her 9 assists in her final game were a perfect example of that. And as mentioned earlier, she could have finished with even more if her teammates had converted more of those opportunities. But beyond the statistics, what truly separated Caitlin this season was her leadership. As a young player, Caitlin accepted a major role for the Fever. She became the player her teammates trusted during crucial moments. Whether it was knocking down a big shot late in the game or making an important defensive play, Caitlin was always there when her team needed her most. That leadership, combined with her talent on the court, made her one of the most important players in the WNBA this season.
It was a lot of fun watching Caitlin Clark's rookie season, which is now over. The Indiana Fever knocked out of the postseason by the Connecticut Sun in a 2-game sweep. And so we got to see the carryover from Iowa transition to the pro game, her ability to help develop a team's cohesion and chemistry. And we saw that work so well as the season went on. Clearly brought like a magnet phenomenal attention to the league, bringing new fans, a committed fan base, not just in her home arena, but bringing fans to away arenas and packing the houses and increasing different venues from smaller to larger because of their presence. It's been...
After such a demanding and intense season, it's no surprise that Caitlin has decided to take some time away. Many WNBA players choose to play overseas during the off-season, not only to remain in shape, but also to earn additional income. However, Caitlin has chosen to skip overseas basketball and focus on resting instead. For her, the decision was simple. She needed time away. It's important to remember that the WNBA season can be extremely demanding, especially for players who carry as much responsibility as Caitlin. Playing overseas can be tempting, but it also means continuing a demanding schedule with very little time for recovery. For Caitlin, the physical and mental demands of the season were enough to make her realize that getting proper rest was the best choice. Along with skipping overseas basketball, Caitlin has also decided not to participate in 3v3 basketball, a version of the game that has continued growing in popularity. The fast-paced style of 3v3 requires players to stay sharp on both offense and defense. And while it could have been an enjoyable way to stay active, Caitlin understood that her body needed more than simply stepping away from full-court basketball. She needed complete rest, allowing her to recover properly and return stronger next season. Caitlin's decision to rest is a mature choice, especially for someone so young. Many players feel pressure to keep competing, whether it's to remain in top physical condition or protect their position in the league. But Caitlin understands that taking care of her body now can benefit her in the future. By resting, she's giving herself the chance to recover physically and mentally while making sure she's prepared to perform at her highest level when the next WNBA season begins.
Does the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her, and I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any.
Throughout the season, one of the biggest frustrations for Caitlin Clark was the lack of calls she received from referees. Whether she was driving toward the basket and taking contact or getting bumped around the perimeter, Caitlin repeatedly found herself on the wrong side of no calls. This was especially frustrating because, as one of the league's top players, Caitlin expected to receive the same level of respect and officiating as her peers.
Will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay.
In her final game against the Connecticut Sun, this problem appeared once again. Caitlin drove toward the basket several times, only to face hard contact without the referees blowing their whistles. It was a pattern that had followed her throughout the season, and it hasn't gone unnoticed by fans, coaches, and analysts. The lack of calls is especially surprising considering Caitlin's status as one of the league's biggest rising stars. In the NBA and WNBA, star players often receive the benefit of the doubt from officials. Players like LeBron James or Aya Wilson are accustomed to getting favorable calls, especially when they attack the basket aggressively. Yet with Caitlin, the whistles often seem to remain silent even when the contact appears obvious. This difference in officiating has raised questions about consistency across the WNBA. Along with the challenges Caitlin faced on the court, she also dealt with a difficult situation away from the action during her final game. A fan in the stands began heckling Caitlin, throwing insults her way and trying to distract her. For most of the game, Caitlin stayed focused, ignoring the fans' comments and keeping her attention on basketball. But as the taunts continued, Caitlin eventually had enough. In a moment similar to NBA superstar LeBron James, Caitlin pointed the fan out to arena staff, who quickly removed the individual from the stadium. It was a rare display of frustration from Caitlin, who is normally known for remaining calm and composed under pressure. But the incident proved that even the best players can reach their limit. With Caitlin Clark now eliminated from the playoffs, the entire WNBA postseason landscape has changed. One player who could be feeling some relief is Angel Reese, a fellow star and competitor who has been closely connected with Caitlin throughout the season. The two players have shared a competitive rivalry, and with Caitlin now watching from the sidelines, Angel knows one of her biggest obstacles to a championship run is gone. While Angel has never publicly celebrated Caitlin's playoff exit, it's obvious that Caitlin's absence changes the postseason dynamics. Without Caitlin, the Indiana Fever are no longer competing, and Angel's potential path toward a championship becomes slightly clearer. Attention now turns to the remaining stars, with Aya Wilson emerging as the biggest name still standing in the playoffs. Caitlin Clark's playoff exit doesn't only affect the Indiana Fever or the championship race. It has a much larger impact on the WNBA overall. Caitlin's breakout season brought a level of attention and excitement to the league that very few players have ever generated.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard
and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor, and I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him for that.
Fans tuned in specifically to watch Caitlin play, and her highlight reel performances quickly became must-see television. Now, with Caitlin watching from the sidelines, the WNBA faces a major challenge: how to maintain viewership and interest without one of its biggest attractions. It's no secret that the WNBA has been working hard to expand its fan base. In recent years, the league has made major progress in marketing, broadcasting, and accessibility. But players like Caitlin are extremely important to keeping that momentum moving forward. Without her on the court, the WNBA loses one of its most marketable and exciting stars, and that could potentially lead to a noticeable drop in viewership and attendance. Caitlin Clark's influence on the WNBA extends far beyond her on-court performances. She has become a cultural figure, someone who has attracted new fans to the league and created a level of excitement that hasn't been seen in years. Now that she's out of the playoffs, there's a sense of disappointment, not only for the Fever but for the league as a whole. Caitlin brought something special to the WNBA, an energy and excitement that connected with fans everywhere. Her absence will certainly be noticed, and it's clear that the WNBA will miss having her on the court. But if there's one thing we know about Caitlin Clark, it's that she'll return stronger than ever. She's already proven that she has the talent, determination, and work ethic needed to become one of the best players in the world. This break will give her valuable time to recover, recharge, and refocus. When she returns next season, the WNBA will once again be energized by her presence, and fans will be eagerly waiting to see her comeback. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen.
People are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want y'all to— people don't understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive, I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive and that's what we do. But off the court, we're going to kick it and have fun. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. And obviously that has become a thing, and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something, but I love Caitlin, I love her game, and I admire everything that she's done.